everyone, welcome back to my channel, East Bay Stamp Chick. This is Michelle, and this is going to be a tutorial for my Christmas folio. I showed this in a previous video in the month of July, I believe, and I had a few people respond saying that they'd love to see a tutorial on how to make this. So there is a walkthrough, but real quick, this opens up and you have two waterfalls, basically. Whoops. And then it opens up again and has a fold out. I'm going to show you how to make the base, but I'm not adding all the layers and mats. You can do that on your own and decide what you want to do there, but it's a really simple folio, something that you could make up ahead of time and then layer with the pattern paper of your choice when you need it as like a gift or special project. So let's get started. Everything is pre-cut and scored, so I'll give you all the measurements. You're going to start the base of your folio is going to be an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and you're going to score it in half at 5.5. Okay, so it's going to look like this, and that's the back panel. Okay, the back fold out piece. I am using 110-pound paper from Michael's Crafts. I like a thicker paper because I really want to make sure things are sturdy. But you could probably utilize lighter weight paper, especially if you're going to be adding a lot of layering of your pattern paper or trims, things like that. So like on my cover and the back, I have the gold foil paper plus the patterned paper. So that's really thick. And then just patterned paper on the inside. So we have 4 layers of paper right here. That's, really sturdy. So it's up to you what you want to do there. And I didn't write on this one. So let me see here. This is, let me tell you this piece. You're going to need a piece that's 5.5 inches by 8.5. And you're going to score at the half inch side. Okay. So this is going to attach to that back panel right here. And let's do that. This is going to create your fold out. I'm kind of excited to do this because this is going to give me one of these booklets or folios already made with no paper that I can put into my stash and then have it available when I need it. Okay, so that is the back of the book. So when you look at it right here, this fold out is what I just did. Okay. All right, so now we're going to build on top of this to create that top section with the waterfall. We're going to start that by doing the cover. You're going to need 2 pieces of 5.5 by 8.5, and you're going to score at 1.5 and at 7/8 on both pieces. Now, my original one, I did not score at 7/8. I only scored at 3/4, which gave it a 1/4 of an inch gusset here, or spine, I guess I should say. And I just felt like this is a little tight. And I think it needs a little bit more space. You can see once you add in photographs and stuff, it's a little tight right there, I think. So I did a 3/8 of an inch spine. All right, so you're going to need 2 of these. And those are going to get glued right on top of this one. And you're only putting glue on that first half inch. You're not going to put glue on the spine, only the first half inch. So we're going to line that up to the fold. sure that scooched over just a little bit there. That's why I like wet glue, is I can kind of manipulate that and get it exactly where I want it. Got glue all over my fingers. All right, and then you're going to do, you have a second one, you're going to put that on this side. So you'll have one on each side. This is kind of nice because it uses the 8.5 inch width of your cardstock. So if you're using, you know, regular cardstock, most of it comes 8.5 by 11. And then a lot of these pieces are 5.5 inches. So you're utilizing your paper. You're not going to have a bunch of scraps left, which I think is really nice. Wipe off any extra glue. So now you have, let's get this folded. Okay. Here's what you have. Here's your front opening. So we still need to do our 2 waterfalls. And then you have your back fold out. Okay, so we're almost done. So now we have 2 waterfalls. And you're going to cut 2 of each of these. So let me get these. We're going to start with the bigger pieces first. And I think we'll build one and then build the other. So your biggest piece is 4 1/4, right this way, by 5.5. And you're going to score at the 1/2 inch. Okay, so you're going to need 2 of those. One will be for below, one will be for up top. And you're just going to stack on top of each other. Now you do want to make sure that you do not cover up this fold area. You need to leave this right along the edge so that way this can still fold up. Okay? And I know sometimes in white it's hard to see. There, you can kind of see it there. And then I'm making sure that this is even at the top. Okay, so that way it leaves plenty of space down here at the bottom for the next one. Well, let's go ahead and we'll build them at the same time. I was going to build them separate, but maybe it'd be better to build them at the same time. So I was just looking at that. It does leave enough space. So again, we're going to put this right up to the score line for the fold, but we're not going to cover it. And I'm going to make sure that I lined it up with the bottom of the paper, so it's of this, so it's not sticking out too much. Okay, so see, now you have on either side. All right, so your next pieces are 5 inches this way, 4 1/4 this way, and again 1/2 inch score. I like the 1/2 inch. I feel like if you do less, you do like a 1/4 inch, it's just too difficult to fold it and get it where you need it. So this is going to go right on top. You're going to match up those fold lines, and you're going to match it up to the one that it's laying on top of. So this is a really easy folio. You could make a whole bunch of these and set them aside, and like I said, then when you're ready, add your pattern paper. You do want to make sure, like, this one is catching just a little bit right here, so I probably did not cut very straight. And if you need to make sure you cut it straight so that way they can flow when they open. So I probably got mine just a tad crooked, but I could probably snip that with some scissors and it'll be fine. So our next size is 4 1/4, which is this part, by 4 1/2 with a 1/2 inch score. And that'll go right on top. Just going to line that up. Wipe up any extra glue. And same thing here on the bottom. Making sure I'm not getting it too close to that fold line. And then our last one is 4 by 4 1/4. And we'll put that right on top. We'll line that up. So when I'm lining these up, I'm making sure that it's flush across the top and also at the bottom. So that way it looks nice and straight when you see your waterfall laid out. And then there's this one. And that will go right there. Remove any extra glue. Okay. So that is as simple as it is. So you have your 2 front pieces that open up, and you've got your waterfall. Then you go to the back and you've got your fold out. And when I assembled this one, I put a ribbon on this front panel, and then the ribbon was back here on the back. And so that way you could completely tie it shut. And I like ribbon because if you add photos or decorations that have a lot of bulk to them, you can still get your folio to close because the ribbon is very forgiving and can allow you, it allows you to put as much as you want in here pretty much. So, yeah, so that's how it looks from up top. There we go. So simple, right? That was really quick. So once you cut everything out, it just goes together so fast. Okay, and that's it. All right, so let me know what you think. I hope you make one, and if you do, let me know. I'd love to see it. All right, thanks a lot everyone for spending time with me today, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you get more crafty inspiration. Bye-bye. Oops.